Castlevania Nocturne didn't miss out on this trend of creating and writing original characters. The show managed to produce some pretty iconic characters, and Drolta Tzuentez is ranking very high on this list of notable characters in the series. She is one of the driving forces and the main antagonist of the series. Initially, in season 1 of Castlevania Nocturne, Drolta wasn't perceived as the main antagonist of the show until after season 2, when her backstory was explored and the main reason for her motivations throughout the show came to light. We now realize that she is, in fact, the body of the show. A little backstory to who Drolta was before she became the Drolta we all know. In the early stages of Drolta's life, she was once a devoted high priestess of Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess of war. Drolta was someone that took her priestly duties seriously. She was guarding the body of Sekhmet, providing healing and caring to the common people. One fateful day, while preparing medicine for a sick little girl, the temple was invaded by bandits. They desecrated the sacred ground, stole Sekhmet's body, and mercilessly slaughtered Drolta's fellow priestesses, including the very child she had been tending to. Enraged by this development, Drolta discovered a vampire feeding on the lifeless body of the girl, so she engaged in a battle with the vampire and was smart enough to overpower him by pushing his body on a sword of a nearby statue. She finished him off and drank his blood, which turned her into a vampire. At the time, Drolta believed her transformation into a vampire was a gift from Sekhmet because she prayed for strength to fight in her name forever. So we now saw Drolta set out to resurrect Sekhmet with hope to continue serving her in a new form. She began to turn young girls into vampire, hoping to find one strong enough to serve as Sekhmet's vessel. But the girls all proved too weak and unworthy. It still did not make Drolta back down on this mission. She was determined to find a suitable vessel for the goddess. So what she did was that she expanded her search beyond Egypt and traveled the world in search of the perfect host. Her journey eventually led her to Elizabeth Bathory, a notorious noblewoman imprisoned for her horrific crimes. Rather than being repulsed by this nonsense resume of Elizabeth, Drolta found Elizabeth's dark history fascinating. She saw potential in her and offered her the chance to become even more powerful. And without hesitation, Elizabeth accepted this offer. Drolta then turned her into a vampire and had her drink Sekhmet's blood. Elizabeth survived this ritual unlike the previous girls and then transformed into the self-proclaimed vampire messiah, with Drolta as her devoted second in command. Together, they embarked on the reign of terror, building vampire armies, committing different atrocities against humanity, and working towards their ultimate goal, which is blocking out the sun solely for their amusement. Now, what sets Drolta apart from other vampires, or let me say other characters in this series, is her personality. Drolta's level of confidence is out of this world. She's someone that knows what she wants and goes for it. From the very beginning, Drolta has always craved for more power. She believed strength was the key to fulfilling her duties and serving Sekhmet more effectively. So when an opportunity presented itself, she grabbed it and turned herself into a vampire, thinking it was a divine blessing from Sekhmet.
I pray to be made stronger, and she sent you.
This act boosted her confidence and intensified her character the more because unlike most vampires, Drolta can boast of having no sire because she turned herself into a vampire, which made her one of the rare few vampires who chose their own path rather than being forced into it. That alone makes her stand out if you ask me, and she went on to sire others as well. It's only further cemented her authority and confidence. Drolta is above all someone that is incredibly self-serving. She chooses to do what pleases her, never caring about anyone else. She claimed to act in Sekhmet's best interest, but the truth is she did what she thought was best without ever considering what Sekhmet would have actually wanted. She was so consumed by her goal of resurrecting the goddess that she went after the strongest vessel possible, which led her to Elizabeth. Initially, we thought Elizabeth was the mastermind behind their movement, but by the end of season 2, it became clear that Drolta was never truly serving Elizabeth. She only served Sekhmet. Elizabeth was just a means to an end, because when Elizabeth failed to meet her expectations, Drolta had no hesitation in tossing her aside, proving once again that her loyalty extended only as far as her own ambition.
I am Sekhmet. You are my servant. Obey me.
You are not Sekhmet. You are nothing. This power belongs to me.
That moment perfectly showcases Drolta's self-serving nature. She literally forgot that Elizabeth was the one who brought her back to life in the first place. For her to even betray her like this, that is wild. Drolta had other instances where she showcased her self-centered nature. Like this moment, a vampire servant reported Alucard and Richter's location. Bro was probably expecting a reward for being a good informant, but instead, Drolta used that moment to her advantage and branded him into into the occult.
Oh, look. He's hoping for a reward. Kneel.
I can bet that bro didn't see this coming because he probably thought he was going to gain some jewelries or gold, for reporting Richter's location, but Drolta decided to use him to her advantage. For the record, let's get this out there. Despite Drolta incredible being self-serving, she isn't completely incapable of loyalty, because when Drolta chooses to be loyal, she is fiercely devoted, but only to those she deemed worthy of her loyalty. She can go miles in making sure that they never lack anything she can offer. For example, her commitment to Sekhmet was unwavering because she spent thousands of years working towards resurrecting her goddess. That is a full-on display of loyalty to Sekhmet. She also remained loyal to Elizabeth for as long as she saw her as the rightful vessel by being her second in command. But even this, her loyalty was still ultimately self-serving, because everything she did was framed around her goal of reviving Sekhmet. But you get the point. She can just be loyal if she wants to. Drolta is someone that holds herself at an incredibly high standard, to the point that she can easily come off as a perfectionist. She ensures that everything she does is flawless. For example, before the arrival of Elizabeth in France back in season 1, we saw Drolta meticulously ensuring that everything was in order, checking on the abbots and the night creatures. She went even as far as checking out the local girls in France to make sure that they fit to what she considered perfect, making sure that their blood is well seasoned for Elizabeth consumption. That is crazy for real.
She'll do nicely. The Messiah will be pleased.
Drolta is also persuasive and cunning, because we saw her attempts to sway the abbots and Olrox into worshipping Elizabeth as their god, even though those two proved to be difficult to manipulate. But Drolta remained persistent and searching for ways to tie them down to her mission. And honestly, her strategic moves were next level, because manipulating the abbot into offering up his own daughter Maria as sacrifice is cold, and branding Olrox to force his loyalty, ruthless. Drolta knew exactly how to play the game, and that is why I like her. Drolta's presence and appearance is nothing short of commanding. Her aura is undeniable. She has an eye for anything good. This was evident in her outfit choices throughout the show. How she chooses to dress is really niche, because she consistently maintained a pink and purple aesthetic that perfectly matches her energy. For her physical appearance, Drolta is a striking dark-skinned woman with slim figure and long black hair with the same pink highlights at the tip. She has the normal distinctive vampire features as well, like pointy ears, fangs, and glowing pink eyes. In the second season of Castlevania Nocturne, her appearance took a dramatic shift from being the fashion girly she was to a full-on night creature with permanent wings, curved horns, and legs that resemble horse hooves. Her hair also transformed into this massive spiked dreadlocks with something like sharp razor tips, and she even grew a tail. When she debuted this look, I thought this was her final form. After betraying Elizabeth and drinking the blood of Sekhmet, she turned into an even more monstrous version of her night creature form, because she's now imbued with the bar and the car power of the goddess Sekhmet. She grew larger and even more fearsome. To me, this form felt like our true final boss state. It was just perfectly balanced and well realized, if you ask me. As a vampire, Drolta possesses a range of abilities which made her one of the strongest characters in Castlevania Nocturne. Her combat skills are undeniable, and she delivered one of the best fight scenes in the show. Drolta is immortal. She has been alive ever since she turned herself into a vampire, and that is thousands of years ago. She can shift. We saw her turn into a succubus form-like version of herself in the ending of season 1. That was where we learned that she can turn into this creature if she wants. I don't know why they didn't write her into turning into this creature more often. Drolta can fly. The succubus look gave her large bat wings and the ability to fly, but her flight ability is limited to only when she is in this succubus form. However, her night creature form came and gave her wings and then granted her full mastery of flight. So flight is now properly a thing for Drolta. Becoming a night creature significantly enhanced Drolta's already impressive physical abilities, because she can now fly at incredible speeds, overpower most opponents easily, and even resist the sunlight light, which is something that typical vampires cannot do. So having Drolta do this while still being a vampire is really a big deal. Her night creature form now enables her to use parts of her body as weapons, making her even more deadly. These are really wild. Watching her debut these abilities or like instances in her battles is always refreshing, and it made me look out for her fight scenes anytime she's in a battle. Drolta was truly an amazing character to watch. I appreciate how Castlevania Nocturne handled her arc. What they did with her in the second season was incredible. I was honestly mad when she seemingly died in season 1 because I'm like, no, you can't waste this character like this, you know? So seeing her return in season 2 was absolutely worth it. Everything about her was enhanced, she was original, she was enticing, and fucking built different. If you made it to this level of the video, you are the real MVP. I appreciate you watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. What do you think of Drolta Tzuentez? Let me know in the comments because she's mommy. I will see you guys in my next video. I'm out of here.